Let's be clear from the start. Kindness by itself is not enough to survive in this world. If you think being a good person is enough to succeed, you're living in a fantasy. And deep down, you know it. You felt it when people walked all over you. When you did the right thing and instead of recognition, you got ignored or worse, used. You were taught that goodness is rewarded, that honesty leads to success. But the real world doesn't work that way. The world doesn't reward the good. It rewards the strategic. And that's where Machiavelli enters. Machiavelli understood what most people refuse to accept. Human nature is selfish, fickle, cruel when it needs to be. In The Prince, he doesn't glorify evil. He exposes reality. He shows that virtue without cunning is weakness, that kindness without strategy is a trap. Ask yourself, how many times have you fallen into that trap? Think of the people you admire, the ones who've achieved greatness. Do you really believe they got there just by being kind? Of course not. They knew when to play in the shadows. They understood that morality isn't a limitation, it's a tool. Something to use and sometimes to conceal. That's the difference between being a player and a pawn. Your problem isn't that you're good. Your problem is that you're unprotected. You assume others play by your rules, but they don't. You're surrounded by predators disguised as friends. Opportunists who can spot the naive from a mile away. And you've been the perfect target. This is where Machiavelli offers you an alternative. Intelligent kindness. This doesn't mean becoming a villain. It doesn't mean betraying your principles. It means this. Kindness must be paired with clarity, with strength, with awareness. You must learn to read people, to anticipate their intentions, to know when to trust and when to protect yourself. Machiavelli famously said, "It is better to be feared than loved." If you cannot be both, now ask yourself, what have you chosen? You've chosen to be loved, to be accepted, to be seen as harmless. But what has that brought you? Not respect, not power, not security. Because kindness without strength doesn't inspire admiration, it inspires pity. Don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you to stop being good. I'm telling you to stop being naive. The world doesn't reward purity. It rewards intelligence. True virtue isn't submission. It's strategy. Machiavelli taught that image is everything. It's not just who you are. It's how you're perceived. If you appear weak, people will treat you that way. If you appear strong even when you're unsure, they will respect you. So how many times have you kept silent to avoid conflict? How many times have you let disrespect slide just to keep the peace? And what did that peace ever give you besides regret? This isn't about being cruel. It's about being strategic, knowing when to act, when to speak, when to retreat, and when to strike. Kindness is only an advantage when it's used wisely. If it's left unchecked, it becomes your greatest liability. Too many good people believe the world values innocence. It doesn't. The world values power, control, authority. Kindness is only respected when it comes from a position of strength. If you have no power, your kindness is meaningless. Machiavelli would tell you, do not be a lamb in a world of wolves. Do not let your morality make you a slave, because true virtue is not passive. It's calculated. It doesn't adapt to the world, it shapes it. So ask yourself, how much longer will you let the world walk over you? How much longer will you live as a victim of your own idealism? I'm not telling you to abandon goodness. I'm telling you to weaponize it, to move in the shadows when necessary, to know when to smile and when to show your teeth. Because the world isn't fair. But you can learn to play by its rules and still remain true to yourself. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to make you evil. He wrote it to help you survive. And here's the part that most people miss. The perception of power. It's not enough to be strong. You have to appear strong. It's not enough to be intelligent. You have to project intelligence. Because in this world, reality matters less than perception. Think about it. How many incompetent people have you seen rise above their station? How many manipulators get ahead while good, hardworking people stay stuck? It's not an accident. People don't follow the best. They follow the one who seems most in control, the one who commands attention, the one who projects confidence even when they don't have the answers. That's where so many fail. They think the truth is enough. That skill alone will speak for them. But the world doesn't reward truth. It rewards those who can sell their truth. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. It is not what you are. It is what others believe you to be. An insecure leader, no matter how skilled, inspires no confidence. A talented person who fades into the background will never be promoted. A kind soul who doesn't project value will never be desired. This is the final lesson. The control of information. Why do the most powerful always seem to know more than others? Why do they always stay one step ahead? Because they know this. Information is power, and power must be protected. Naive people believe honesty means sharing everything. But if you give away information, you give away control. Machiavelli said, "A prince must learn to conceal his intentions. Not to be a liar, but to be strategic in a world that rewards secrecy. Learn when to speak. Learn when to stay silent. Maintain a sense of mystery. Make others wonder what you're really thinking. Because the moment people can predict you, you've already lost." The greatest players in history, in politics, business, art, they all understood the same thing. Sometimes, silence is your loudest weapon. So ask yourself, are you going to keep living in the illusion that kindness is enough? Or will you start practicing intelligent kindness? Because the world doesn't change for the good-hearted. It changes for those who know how to play the game.